announcement. We welcome to your interview, which we're conducting on the traditional territory of the Nooksack tribe and Lummi Nation. This interview is recorded, which I said it will be used in endorsement decisions and may be shared. Your screen name will be on the recording, so if you'd like it to be different, please change it now. We have 5 questions for you at approximately 3 minutes each for you to answer. Hopefully that'll leave some time for you to ask a question at the end or two. To begin, how would you like to be addressed?
Kim is wonderful.
Okay, thank you, Kim. So let's see, Arlene is going to ask you the question. So I'm gonna hand it over to her. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, my name is Arlene Feld, Kim, and I'm glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Arlene.
The first question I have for you is, what experience as an administrator, an executive, or an elected official do you think has prepared you to be the best candidate for this job?
Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight, and in particular to answer that question. In large part, I'm motivated to seek the office of mayor if I should be privileged and honored enough to serve my community in that capacity, because I do believe I have the relevant professional experience in both the for-profit and nonprofit sectors to do this work. I believe that my background and years as a team leader with up to 60 reports at Intel Corporation give me unique team management experience that would be applicable to the role to be the city's chief administrator. I have experience 8 years as the executive director and organizational steward of the Bellingham Public Schools Foundation. During that time, I've set budgets, granted much smaller than the city's budget, but still it's an opportunity to get direct relevant experience of setting a budget, reflecting on that critically, looking at your allocations to make sure that you're driving towards the outcomes that you want to achieve for the organization, or in this case, for the city and the residents of this community, and thinking critically about budgets as a reflection of your values. And certainly as an executive director serving at the pleasure of a board, it's much like the relationship with city council. You need to work collaboratively to get that work done. I proposed the budget as director, but I certainly did not vote on it. It's very similar and directly relevant to the administrative competence that you need to do the job as mayor well. And additionally, I would add that my time on the Whatcom County Planning Commission has enabled me to learn how to reflect critically on policy and what unintended consequences can be of policy making. And I believe that will also be relevant to the job as the Chief Administrative Officer of Bellingham.
Thank you. Our community has a longstanding unmet demand for mental health care and substance abuse treatment. It's a major contributor to the challenges facing the city and the mayor. What do you plan to do to address these needs?
It is, I think, one of the most important tasks that is before us as a community. We certainly are not unique in Bellingham in facing these challenges. And I am all in favor of a regionalized approach to this. The city currently doesn't have a health department at its disposal to be a partner in this work. So we need good collaborative working relationships with the county health department. And it needs to be broader than that. I know that there are good ideas and solutions that abound in the nonprofit world. It's going to take a combination of fiscal resources from federal, state, and private sources to come up with the solutions and investments that we need in mental health and addiction services. it's a complex issue, but at the same time, I'm optimistic. I think we have a strength of relationships in this community that can serve us well. And I'm eager to, I believe I have a proven track record of bringing people together that, and being a uniter and an encourager of taking action steps, even if they're imperfect. Let's take action and move forward. Let's measure our progress as we go. That's part of my ethos and my engineering training, is to make data-informed decisions, to measure our progress and adapt our solutions and approaches. And even I think that there are communities that are doing pieces of this work well. I'm all in favor of looking at case studies from communities that are trying different novel approaches and adopting those or modifying them to see if they could be of benefit to our community.
Since 2020, there have been extensive conversations about race, about policing, about criminal justice systems. And we're wondering how you would address equity in our justice system.
I think it's really important that we acknowledge that even here in Whatcom County, we have inequitable outcomes for people of color in terms of our prison population right now. And while I don't believe that we have evidence that supports a broad national narrative to policing, we don't have evidence that Bellingham's police department is a Memphis or other policing units that have been perpetrators of real harms to underrepresented communities, especially communities of color. I think it's twofold. I think it's important that we acknowledge the training and investment and culture setting that we've done to create a community policing model here in Bellingham that is more reflective of our community. I also think that we can do better in this endeavor. I think it's very important that we have open dialogue with the community. At the state level and the open public drug use ordinance, we have put police on the front line of some of these issues right now, for better or for worse. That's where we are at. And so what does that look like for our community? How can we make sure that our officers are as well trained and as prepared and making good decisions? And for the most part, I believe that is the community that we have, although I think that we can always endeavor for more continuous improvements and dialogue in the community and holding the police force accountable when necessary. And I certainly know from my time on the Schools Foundation, providing resources to Bellingham Public School students that were part of the juvenile incarceration program here, that it does not at all reflect by race our school population as a whole. So we have a lot more work to do to within the justice system to create more just outcomes for minority communities.
Do you support a local minimum wage that is higher than the state minimum wage?
I spent time, actually, I had a 1-hour coffee with Jace Cotton today talking about this issue. I think I have more to learn. In general, my personal philosophy as a human going through this life is that we are all better off when we are all better off. And so, but I am interested on what the impacts are without a small business carve out. Jace is going to share some of the evidence that shows that the small business carve out wouldn't be harmful to small local business. And my one other piece is for some of the low-income housing in this community. We have tied that to area median income, and I want to make sure that senior citizens or other individuals that have found placement in our low-income housing program won't be adversely impacted. We want the area median income to rise. I think that's an outcome we all seek, but I want to make sure that we're not creating additional hardship for some of our residents whose rents are tied to area median income. And what does that look like? So I just want to make sure that I'm carefully considering those things.
Yes, you're pointing out the interconnection, the web of connections, right? What is your preferred plan and why for the post-point water treatment plan?
Well, I'm glad we did not move forward with potentially creating a large-scale toxic situation where we're spreading harmful chemicals out. It is regrettable, however, that we have years of deferred maintenance right now in that facility. So looking at how we make corrections to that facility to make it move forward and as economically affordable and efficient way, especially with the lens towards overall sustainability goals that we've set out in the climate action plan. We are definitely have some catch up to do. We were very committed to one particular path, and now we have to acknowledge and be clear-eyed about the situation that we've created now that we've switched paths. I do think it was the right call to switch paths, but we're going to need a long-term plan to make amends for that. And I think in particular, my background in engineering training can be helpful to be a partner and encourage critical thought at the city and Public Works Department about where we're going from here and the pace at which we're moving forward with new solutions.
I see that we have a bit of time left, and so is there anything that you wanted to add to our conversation today?
Well, I am grateful to be here, and I wanted to, right now, the Riveters website, clearly conversations around justice and potentially the new jail project is important. But I'm wondering what else is fore of mind for the Riveters these days, because there's so many challenges facing our community, but that's primarily the issue that I'm receiving communication on from Riveters. And I'm just wondering what else is in your purview right now. And also if there's particular areas that you're looking for. I see this election as an opportunity to for our community to reassess where we want to double down and commit to the strategies that we've been investing in. And it's also an opportunity for us to reflect on where we want to take different action. And so I'm just wondering if you wanted to share where you would see a call for different action.
Does somebody have a question that they want to respond to that? Because I will if you don't.
I'll be happy to just add a couple thoughts, and then please anyone else tag on. So yes, I think very much the jail and justice system activities are top of mind. We have a really active justice system committee that is really doing great work, collaborative work in the community. And so as much as we can, we like to highlight that work and spread the information that they're gathering and learning. But yes, housing, always top of mind. Transportation issues and how they intersect with climate plans are also top of mind. Those are the things that come to my mind instantly. Please, anyone else add in?
I mean, for me, it's my intense interest is in anything we can do to prevent crime, but also to prevent people from going into the justice system. And that requires planning about specific kinds of care programs that are missing from our community. So the Incarceration Reduction and Prevention Task Force has been working on this for some time to develop ideas. So what stands out for you in terms of behavioral health or mental health care as essential?
Yeah, so I think it's very important that we acknowledge the good work that we've done as a community. We have made investments in programs like GRACE and LEAD, but that is not enough. And those are high barrier programs. I think we need more low barrier diversion approaches. We need big investments in the workforce. If we're going to have a rehabilitation first approach in the new jail or community justice facility, whatever we're going to call that, where is that workforce development coming from? What does bail reform look like? There's so many pieces, I think, that go in hand. There's so many moving parts to that, and I'm eager to be a collaborative thought partner and advocate for more just approaches in our community and that work, and how can we move the needle. And to hear Suzanne say, climate is something I don't get to talk a lot about. It is probably one of the issues that is most near and dear to my heart. The health and safety, community health and safety conversations are consuming a lot of the oxygen right now, and understandably so. But climate is a big part of what I want to take bolder action towards, and more progressive transportation goes hand in hand with that, just like Suzanne said.
Okay, Kim, sorry, we have to go ahead because you were a little late. We kind of have to rush you out of here.
Absolutely,
Thank
understand.
you so much for coming, and we appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for your time tonight and your investment in this process. I appreciate it.
Bye. Yeah.